We now have 100 people dialed in. Maraming salamat
Good
po.
afternoon. Ay, ayan, ayan.
Yes. Maraming salamat po for tuning in to PSTD's Learn from Home series. So
Hi,
for the
Izzy.
people, yes, for the people who just dialed in, when you say hi or when you chat with your name, whatever your response is, put your configuration into all panelists and all attendees. All right? So I hope that's clear for people, ha? The first reminder is put your configuration in chat to all panelists and all attendees because we want to be able to learn from one another here. We have a big crowd. We're expecting around 300 people, probably 500 kasi if all of the registered will actually dial in. So maraming salamat. And welcome Miss Luz Mercurio, the godmother of all of our speakers. Maraming salamat for dialing in. Hello, Dixie from the Office of the Government Corporate Council. Oh, that's nice. I don't know what that means, pero welcome po kayo dito, ha? Um, warm greetings to everyone attending from the province of Laguna. Hello, Joe. Jeanette, ang ating suke, si Miss Jeanette Abilar, mabuhay kayo sa Antipolo City, madam. Um, Gusto ko to. Erwin Francia, magical greetings from Enchanted Kingdom. Yan, sir.
Magical.
Ano ba? Santa Rosa, Laguna ba ito?
Yeah, Santa Rosa.
Oo, ayan. Hazel Bugas, thank you Miss LV Tarabal for inviting me. Hazel, invite more people. We can accommodate. 500 ito. So kayang-kaya natin. We're also broadcasting live right now in Facebook. So if you want to share our content, you just go to facebook.com/mypstd and you will be able to take a watch party, using this session. Kasi we have a really inspiring speaker with us today here. So his name is Mr. Louie Banta, and he's hiding from all of you. Louie, can we listen to your voice so that people will be more elated from here? Hello, Louie.
Good afternoon. Magandang hapon po sa lahat ng makakasama natin in the next hour here in PSTD.
Ay, napaka-powerful ng boses, pang radyo talaga at pang DJ. We also have our very own Board of Trustee member, Miss Irene Isleta. Hello, Irene. Can you say hi to everyone?
Hi, everyone. I'll be joining you a bit. Dumadaldal din ako, no? So, hello. Hello,
Mabuhay. O, tingnan.
tumaan.
Correct. Meron tayong 123. Welcome
134,
everyone who's
5.
attending. Correct. So again, configure your chat to all panelists and all attendees para matuto tayo sa isa't isa at hindi lang within the panelists, ganyan. John, we may have people from the University of Sydney but not sure yet. I was talking to them. Oh, Louie, we have people daw from the University of Sydney. Patay ka. All English ka ngayon.
Yes, English only policy tayo.
Yeah.
Okay lang yan. Later. Oh, we have people calling in from Jensen and stuff. Sige, I'll start sharing my slides now, and then I'll ask people if we are coming across clearly. Okay. So can I ask everyone, can you please type yes if I'm still getting across clearly or if I'm garbled na and if you can see my slides? Yes. Alam mo, gusto ko talaga mag-webinar ng maramihan sa Pinoy. Sobrang sipag sumagot talaga sa chat, no, tsaka sa mga comments. Talagang, and yun din yung sinabi ng ating mga foreigner speaker guests. Now whenever they join,
yeah.
Correct, tama ka Irene. Very dynamic and very responsive. Diba? Like si Vanessa Trower, she was sharing to me in one of the sessions. She said na, John, that's the biggest webinar that I've done in my life. And I'm very happy na like the people who are engaged within the chat box itself, sobrang laki ng participation. And we really appreciate that because this is not just our learning, this is all of our learning, like the community's learning. That's the reason why we're doing this. Sige, right. So I'll spend the next 6 minutes discussing the overall picture. And this time, I will make it faster, no? Since marami naman tayo, kumbaga nadidiscuss na natin ito every time that we are starting the program. So again, we are the Philippine Society for Talent Development. And this program is powered by a task force called Oplan Hope. or hang on people enablers. And then we have two main objectives. The first objective is to support the Philippine learning community as we cope during this time of crisis. Diba? Second is to sustain the society. Again, being a non-profit organization, we need to be able to recoup on funds. And while we're helping out the bigger learning community, we are also offering some paid programs on the side. Pero mas makikita nyo, mas marami pa rin yung tulong natin. Ayan na po, welcome Mr. Louie Banta. Nakita. Okay. To update you, the PSTD Learn from Home series has already run for 1 month and 1 week. So we've had 25 classes so far. That's 7,596 live Zoom attendees from all over the country, some even from outside the Philippines. And then we've already reached 104,200 minutes of viewed videos in Facebook, which is great learning for everyone. So let me talk to you about the theme for the month. So as you can see, like for the month of May, we have the theme of Resilience 2.0, which is Philippine Learning Community Bounces Back. And these are, what you see in the screen are some of the themes and the topics. So this week, we are in the sub-theme of Rebuilding by Finding Our Core and North. O di ba napakalalim niyan? Hindi ko rin alam ang ibig sabihin niyan, pero ibig sabihin siguro niya self-reflection. We're trying to look internally within ourselves and within our organizations so that we will be able to mobilize that self-reflection into something more tangible, especially next week. So this week, we will talk about conquering your fears. Kasi the fears are the things that paralyze us into action because of the crisis. The second one, which would be on May 22, which would be on Friday, is preparing your people for the new normal. And we will have the Vice President of HR of Universal Robina, Lisa Abalahon, to talk on that date. So sana mag-register din kayo. And in between that and today, we have our Itipanan session tomorrow, which I will talk about a bit more later. Next week, pabonggahan ito guys. Next week is the National Manpower Training and Development Week. So what we are going to do is all of these learnings, we will translate into brand. We will translate into personas, our reflection of authenticity. And you will see, di ba, panalong-panalo ang mga topic natin, how to start up during pandemic. So para sa mga entrepreneurs, para sa mga consultants. And May 27, balik alindog sa trabaho. A micro-learning session on personal branding. Talagang babalik ka sa alindog kasi ang speaker dito is si Miss Abigail Arenas. So, she is the Managing Director of Personify and she was the 1997 Binibining Pilipinas Universe. Pabongga tayo ng pabongga, guys. And on May 28, we are gonna have Mr. Simon Hammond from Swinburne University and also the CEO of 50 Crates who will talk about personal branding beyond the pandemic. Using your truth to win in a world of lies. O, di ba? May mga ganong paandar. Ang dami kasing fake news ngayon. Okay. Anyway, the month after that, we will talk about capability and capacity building na. So this is for June. Understanding the challenges of the new environment, best practices in capacity building, and leading positive organizational cultures to sustain capability. Yan, kailangan natin yan. Kasi syempre, habang binubuo yung ating mga competencies, kailangan nating ma-ensure na sustainable yung mga nabubuo at saka in line siya with what we exactly need right now. And ito ang ating binubuo for July. So kaway-kaway po tayo sa ating mga huwarang guro na nag-dial in ngayon. Ang sabi ni Nat, meron daw 143 na registered teachers. Mabuhay po kayo and welcome here. We would like to inform you that on July, you will be the focus of our Learn from Home series. We will do capability and capacity building for the new normal for the academe. And we will talk about themes like high-tech, high-touch, increasing empathy in the form of learning because we need to be able to humanize. Kasi nagdi-digitize tayo di ba? So minsan pag nagdi-digitize tayo, umuurong ng onte yung humanize. Now, we're going to talk about how to high-tech during how to high-touch during high-tech. Tapos we will then come up with some digital learning toolkits for you para pwede kayong mamili kung ano yung magiging applicable sa inyo. Para may autonomy kayo to choose which tools will work and will not work. So I hope you will find these learning sessions moving forward very helpful, no? We also have some programs on the side, like we have PSD TikTok. So ito yung we can listen to you. We have counselors, mentors, and coaches who are willing to listen to people who just need some ear and heart to listen to. We want you to know that you don't need to be problematic, no, in order for you to go to TikTok. All you need is for, just that conviction, or you just need that motivation to talk to someone. Baka kasi mamaya makatulong din sa inyo while you're going through something. So, yeah, that's very important. You can register through the QR code below. We have Chillax with PSTD. That happens sorry, that's not Friday, every Saturday, 3 p.m. So, ito yung re-recap natin yung major learnings for the week. And then, of course, yung contest natin na Write, Inspire, and Win sa PSTD, ang deadline po nito ay May 22. So 2 araw na lang. Kung gusto nyong makakuha ng free membership at complimentary passes on any paid webinar, please join. Madali lang to, as in. What can you do to help the cause of PSTD? Be a member. Kailangan po namin ng pera. Kasi nag-ooperate po tayo, wala po tayo masyadong kita. No? So kailangan natin ng pera. We didn't lay off anyone. We wanted to make sure that we're going to be able to keep the jobs of our beloved professional team until end of the year. And we also want to be able to run our programs until end of the year, especially because we think that the country needs us the most. So please help us out and become a member. And we have a surprise for you. For members, kaka-approve lang to direct from the board meeting the other day. Hindi na lang 15 months yung membership. Hindi na lang libre yung paid webinars for some individuals and corporate. Yung itipanan, starting next month, yung itipanan natin na monthly session, sa gathering na learning session, that's going to be free for all members. So you have 1 slot for individual members and 2 slots for corporate members. And to get you going, ito po yung ating mga itipanan. So Jody, that's going to be tomorrow. Hindi yan covered nung libre sa membership kasi syempre bukas na yan. So ang covered nung libre na tipanan moving forward for members would be si Maribel Aglipay. Ayan. So our itipanan on June 25, mentoring in times of crisis. Mag-member na po kayo. Napakadali. Go to www.pstd.org. Tapos, dun sa pinakababa on the lowest left, become a member today. Right? O kaya, you can scan the QR code and then be a member. We want you to know that to date, we now have around almost 40 new members ever since we started PSTD Oplan Hope last April. That's a very big number. And we hope to be able to increase the community and the funds by getting to you all. By getting through you all and helping the community with us. Ang pinaka-purpose effect ng membership nyo is as you are helping us fund our programs, you are also helping people who don't have the money to access these free learnings because we will never stop producing them. Right? We will not stop producing them, especially because right now the country needs it the most. Okay. So, tama na ang kuda dyan. I would like to introduce our moderator for the day. Ayan, my very good friend who was Gawad Maestro, Learning and Development Manager for 2018. Kabog na kabog. Pangalawa, she is also the Learning and Development Associate Director at St. Luke's. And she is currently PSCD Board of Trustees who functions right now as treasurer in the executive committee. At nakikita niyo po at makikita niyo po mamaya that si Irene Isleta, who is our moderator, is calling from the office.
From the office, yes.
She's calling from St. Luke. So Irene, maraming salamat sa inyo at sa inyo mga frontliners, sa mga medical workers. We owe you our lives and we owe you our sanity. Thank you so much for doing this
I'm
for
sure
us.
that's a huge thank you, no? So, hello everyone. So thanks, John, for the introduction.
Yes.
So I will be your moderator for this afternoon. And before I introduce you, our speaker, I think na-introduce na ni John kanina. Please be reminded of the following. We will have to put you in mute mode so we can manage the flow of information and also to avoid delays and lull as we only have 1 hour. So please use the Q&A tab found at the middle bottom of your screen for your questions. I will keep track of the questions for Louie later for the open forum. So And if you want to just give a comment or input about the topic, feel free to use the chat box, which is just beside the Q&A tab. So, but these features may only be available for those who are logged in, no? So, and then earlier I saw a chat on certificates. So there'll be certificates to be provided for Zoom logged in participants who stayed for at least 40 minutes and those who will answer our post-eval survey. So please make sure you do that. And now I have been given also the task to introduce. No? So I'm excited and privileged to introduce to your speaker for this afternoon, who has 27 years of experience in L&D, trained 300 plus organizations in 9 countries across 4 continents. So, fan din niya ako. Leading a team of 17 employees and delivered 61 webinars and counting since April 1 during the lockdown. We've actually worked on a project before, and I can say that he's one of the perfect speakers, if not, sabi nga ni John kanina, if not the most perfect one to handle the topic, as he is a storyteller. And I'm sure you're all excited to hear your stories of inspiration and tips, no? And perhaps tell us the story behind that white door in the photo, yung profile pic niya sa Zoom niya. So I now give the floor to also a good friend and colleague, and to talk about conquering your fears during the pandemic. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Louie John M. Banta. Take it away, Louie.
ESTD friends and followers and fans, good afternoon to everyone. Magandang hapon. Maayong hapon to our friends who are coming from Visayas and Mindanao. You're seeing not Ogie Alcacid, no, but Louie Banta, a follower and fan of the society, as well as a board member in 2007 and 2008, and always happy to support PSTD in noble activities such as this one. I'm now going to transition to my slides. You've seen my face. I will be converted into some sort of a one-by-one box on your screen, and I will now proceed to sharing what we have prepared for you today. Yan. Okay? And I'm now sharing our slides. Our topic for this afternoon is conquering your fears during this pandemic. Okay? Napakabigat po ng title. And if you also can just look at my broadcast here, binagay po talaga natin itong ating ambience dito sa room. You're seeing some darkness behind me, which is really very apt what we're going to talk about. The fears are real. The fears are inside us. We hear of fears around us from people that we interact with, but we'll try to provide some enlightenment, and hopefully you will find a lot of enlightenment so you can really be more resilient through this pandemic. And as we go back and transition to a new normal, may bago na nga ngayon the never normal. I'm sure that new normal is already a cliche, yung never normal, because there are some things that we'll have to get accustomed to, but will continuously evolve as we go along. Okay? Grabe talaga tong COVID po, ano? Okay? Showing you the photos of my teammates, because we were all again forced to jump into, for the first time in our 15-year history in LJMB. These are my teammates from, of course, we entered the 2020 with high hopes. We have high targets, aggressive targets of reaching out to more people in more classes. Kaya mahilig ako mag-take ng screenshots because during these times, this is the only way by which you can connect to your teammates and feeling the presence of each other. Grabe talaga si COVID. Once in a century event. Sabi nga ni McKinsey and Company in their article here, a crisis of immense proportion, which will lead to an imminent restructuring. Wow, very heavy words, powerful adjectives here. Dun nga sa isa, as I say in some webinars, unprecedented crisis. And sadly, maybe no government, no organization, no matter how big or small, maybe no individual is really ready for this one. There's no ready playbook, no BCP page or chapter that prepared people for what we experienced. And now I know that there are a lot of concerns out there, business concerns, household concerns, individual concerns. People here coming from different industries, acknowledging as well that we do have a big group of educators, as I've heard earlier. So let me start. I only have 40 minutes here at marami pang kwento. Let me start by sharing the framework for our knowledge and enlightenment sharing. The 3 C's. Kasi puro C eh. Conquer your fear. Para madaling tandaan, you will conquer your fear if you're able to confront, challenge, and channel your fear. So tatlong maiksing chapter, may mga kwento-kwento on how I have personally also confronted, challenged my fears, and channeled it, converted it into something useful. Right? Maybe it's time for our first poll question. Okay? And we would need help from PSAD to activate the first poll question, which is, what are you afraid of? Talking about fears, and if we're going to do 3 C's on our fears, poll question, please. Please
Yan.
answer. What
Yan,
are you most afraid of
the poll is
during
up
the
na,
past 8
Louie.
weeks?
Yeah,
Yan.
people are
So we're seeing
answering
the
na.
poll.
Can you
Okay.
see it ba? No, I still have to share it right later before you can see it. So you can just chika muna while people are answering.
I
Sure,
wanted to
sure.
vote. I
Okay.
can't vote pala, no?
Oh yeah, no, not
Because
as a panelist, Irene.
I know that feeling because everybody can relate. And I
Wait,
know that you
wait.
may want to, di ba?
Wait lang,
Relate talaga eh.
may nagsabi sa chat na I'm afraid of cockroach.
Kaya naman naka-qualify, most afraid of during the past 8 weeks and in the next 5 weeks. Okay? So all of your other existing phobias, especially when you were still a child, please remove that from our quick poll here. We are limited to 8 options, and these are things very relevant, especially in May. Saan ka ba takot while you're still voting and we're preparing to, share to you the poll results? Getting infected with the virus or losing your job. Let's really face that hard reality, or being on reduced working days or forced leave, just like what other companies have done, na may epekto sa ating pambayad ng bills. Or kung ikaw single o concerned people manager ka, how do you lead your team in this new environment? O na-anxious ka, na-depress ka kasi hindi ka makalabas, wala kang Starbucks drink yung milk tea mo. Di ba? A funny concern that I get from mostly younger members in my webinars, paano na po yung milk tea supply ko? And minsan talaga nakakaloka tong work from home. It's really balancing work and family pressures or what happens next.
Right. Louie, I'm gonna close the poll now. We're at 210 votes
Okay.
against 302.
Okay. While waiting for a few, okay, we are now seeing the poll results. The top fear is really getting infected with a virus. Eh?
Yeah.
And then the second one is failing to provide for family and paying the bills. That's an economic concern. And ang layo talaga nung getting infected with the virus, di ba? And we understand that's really the top priority right now, which is why as we slowly return to work, as 50% of some workforces are going back, this is really top priority to prevent the second surge because we have not yet flattened the virus yet. Yan. Okay? Thank you, because we want to acknowledge what are you afraid of. Maybe some of you have not voted yet. And I'm sure that if you are able to vote not just one answer, you will also be able to relate with the other answers here. Okay? So tuloy po natin, that's a very good pulse check of what people are really afraid of. And to different organizations I was with in different webinars, iba-iba talaga eh. Depende sa industry. When I would speak to automotives, for example, no, na talagang one bibili ng kotse, no? And I would speak to some industries that are booming like food, restaurants, they're into food delivery. Iba-iba lang talaga ang concerns natin. Thank you for giving us a snapshot of what people are afraid of during these times. Let me now proceed to the first C, confronting. Okay? We are here because we want to conquer our fears and acknowledging people who may have been doing a good job already in conquering. You've conquered some of your fears. Just please remember this first C, confronting, goes by the cliche, facing your fears, knowing thy enemy, knowing thy fear, even labeling your fears. So that's important. The previous survey, where we have to really label our fears. You have to list them and even sequence them in order of priority. Sabi nga, mas nakaka-overwhelm daw isipin ng isang bagay na hindi mo alam because everything is cluttered in your head. So get a piece of paper, open your gadget, and just list down what are really my top 3, top 4, or top 5 fears in this crisis. And the powerful thing is just by writing it down, by being able to identify it. Hindi pa siya nasosolve, mas lumuluwag ang kalooban, mas feeling manageable na ang ating mga fears. And mastering it further, trying to understand the fear. And psychologists will say, it's okay to be afraid. Hindi po talaga may iwasan yan. At marami akong kwento ng takot mamaya. It's okay to be afraid, but it's not okay to get stuck with fear. It's also best to understand what the effect of fears are on you. It starts with physiological responses. Ako, pag talaga nararamdaman ko yung fear attack ko, I don't want to call it a panic attack. Yung fear attack ko in the last 8 months, especially yung kaguluhan ng March, the lockdown was announced, no? I would experience headache here at this part, my forehead, no? Talagang there are times hindi ka makaisip, no? And, you know, I would often sigh. I would often really have that long sigh of relief. Whenever I say, hi, a long hi, okay, I know that I am experiencing my fear. And take a look at the last bullet here. Talking about it is already facing it because you can talk about something that you're ignoring, you're denying. Talk about it to someone. Talking about it in a bigger group in the household really makes you say and build that confidence to confront it. Okay? And confronting it is also all about solving it. Now, let me start with the story. I faced 0 sales during this lockdown. We are a training company based in Makati City, 17 people. 17 people because of our growth in the past years. I have a big team. As early as January 23, parang nakikinita ko na po eh. I have engagements in Hong Kong and Sri Lanka in February. And as early as January 23, following the global news. Yun ang importante, yung anticipation. Confronting reality is you don't like it, no? Pero ayaw mong magbaka sakali, I don't want to risk it and travel and bring the virus back. So I tried to withdraw from these engagements. I politely declined through email from my clients. Pero tayo dito sa Pilipinas, BAU pa tayo. Tama? Open for business pa talaga lahat. We're thinking the virus is miles away. Hindi tayo aabutan niyan. Then came, and pardon this phrase, the Hell Week. Hell Week is what they use in the military to describe that week of intense exercises where people are really tested. Yan pong March 7 na yan, Sabado po yan. Yan po yung ating napag-alaman. There's an employee in BGC, I will not mention the company, of course some of us know it, where the first employee in a BGC-based company was infected with the virus. That's a Saturday. And then the following week, sunod-sunod na ang cancellation ng aming mga training engagements because we have a lot of clients in BGC area as well. The start of postponements of about 50 training days. So if you just multiply that with a fixed amount per day, that's how much I've lost beginning that week. And I know we're going to face 17 families' livelihoods dependent on my or our shoulders. Paano ang payroll niyan? 0 sales for 3 months. And hindi lang training, hindi lang education, everybody who's dependent on in-person events, weddings, parties, yung mga event organizers, they've also been affected, hotels as well. But yes, this is very real to me. I'm not somebody sharing with you theories and concepts today, but somebody who really was afraid. OMG, what will we do? Dagdagan ko pa, the following day, this is a really very interesting story. We were really tested during this week. One of my employees called in sick during that morning. And we all thought, kasama lang natin siya kahapon. May lagnat daw siya ngayon. What if it's COVID? So even before you had your work from home on March 16, remember March 15, ang in-announce, effective implementation. March 11 po, nagkaroon na kami ng emergency work from home. I had to tell people 7 o'clock, don't go to the office. Those who are early birds, please vacate the office. We disinfected the office that day, and we were all scrambling. What do we now do? No training engagements. What will the manual makers do? What will the training assistants do? And what will be our platform for collaboration? It was a crazy week. But the good thing is that while it was crazy, you have to really face the fact that you have to do something about it. So we stabilized our routines. Kami Google Meet ang paborito namin. Yung iba Teams, yung iba Zoom, yung iba Skype. Kami napakadali Google Meet for a small team like ours. So we're 3 days ahead of most companies, and therefore the following week we were trying to stabilize things. We set up new routines. It was just as if people are still reporting to the office. We repurposed some people. Yung mga walang gagawin kasi walang trabaho, ang equipment nasa opisina, wala namang client engagements. No? So mga teachers, walang klase. So anong gagawin natin sa iba? We assign them different responsibilities because they also have to be productive. Now, it's real, the back-to-back-to-back meetings na ngayon natin na-realize, akala natin madali yung gusto natin ng work-life balance, work from home will allow that. Pero grabe pala, no? Kasi you just turn your chair around, your family is waiting for you. No? And because people are not seeing each other, it's easy to just send meeting invites and it results to back-to-back-to-back meetings. A lot of people are also saying they've never worked this longest, no? Perhaps in their lifetime. Some are even saying work days have extended to 10, 11, 12, or even beyond that. But one of the fears I needed to face was cost reduction. And for those organizations who are with me here, we really have to look at costs, no revenues during this time or low revenues. So the only thing that we can focus on is cost reduction. And I have to announce that on March 24 in our town hall meeting. And when I announced it, I have to show myself on video. While I'm showing some slides, I will take the slides out because I really want to take a look at the camera. And as if I'm talking to my teammates, starting April 1, nag-reduce work days na po kami. So ito po yung storya ng aking mga fears. No? I'm a training professional. I'm an entrepreneur as well. I have 17 people na napamahal na sa akin. No? You're through thick and thin. And OMG, fear of what do we now do? How do I put order into this chaos? Okay? Pero para ka talagang lumalaban pala ng gera, no? Of course, in a small, agile team, maybe as compared to other organizations which are big, you needed to wait for directions from the top. Ang isang advantage ng small teams, mas mabilis kumilos, mas mabilis mag-decision. So we were saying, do this, do that. People during crisis, they just look at the leader. So for the training leaders in the room, I hope that in the past 8 weeks and in the next 5 to 6 weeks as we transition, you will continue to be that source of clarity of direction. At isa sa mga klarong-klaro na kailangan ko i-confront ay kailangan na hindi na tayo 5 days a week, not even 4 days a week ang pasok. But the next thing to do that is to support that is to communicate it. Just showing my work from home space to create normalcy, and just also showing some activities that we've done to put order into chaos. Hindi kailangan mag-stop ang engagement activities. Nagka-Friday game night pa kami. Some sort of a diversion as well. Sabi na mga iba nakakatulong kasi instead of focusing on the negative, we're having some bonding moments. It was my birthday last week and we had a virtual Zoom birthday party. And nagpadala na ako ng mga cake dun sa iba. Tapos 20 of us were in a Zoom meeting. So training and development, learning, employee engagement, the connection should not suffer or be sacrificed during this lockdown. What about you, my dear training professionals and leaders? What's your fear and what are you doing about it? Siguro mas mabilis lang akong maka-accept, mas mabilis lang akong makaharap sa reality, mas mabilis lang akong maka-move on, no? Sometimes I would tell my team, okay, we look at the numbers, kahit pagbali-balik na rin natin yan, ganyan talaga eh. So we just need to act on it. You said that your major fear is getting infected. There's a very clear solution on that one. Okay? Stay at home. If you're outside, you just do PPE, make sure that you're fully protected. And prayers will help as well. And exercising good judgment. But if it's all the others, mental health, anxiety, and depression, there's still something that you can do about it. Confronting your fear as the first C. Okay? But as I segue to the next C, okay, communicating with CTE has been my problem. Ang linaw na, I need to cut on costs. How do I now communicate with clarity, transparency, and empathy? Because I'm communicating bad news. Iba pala, pag ikaw ay manager or even senior management in a company, because I've done this before, I've delivered bad news before to several employees. But it's different when you are part of management and you're representing a company, you're referring to the company decision and the business need. Iba pala pag ikaw ang owner, iba pala pag ikaw ang entrepreneur, iba pala when it's lonely at the top at wala ka nang ituturo. There's nowhere else or nobody else whom you can say, that's the decision up. So it was very difficult for me. This was what I was afraid of. I was afraid of people's reactions when I would say, guys, we have to cut on costs and we have to do this. And apart from that, also acting so I will not be obsolete. I'll talk about clarity and transparency and empathy. And just checking with our moderator if there's a question so far that's lodged in our Q&A on
Actually,
confronting.
more of Louie, more of a comment. Let me just go through it lang. Sabi ni Bong, fear is normal but conquering it is paramount. And there's someone who said, dapat all boxes dun sa poll nakatik, no? And about repurposing, no? Repurposing the team to also be productive. Katie said, it is always motivating to have a leader with a heart no matter what the bad news is. True, no? And then you said engagement activities should never stop. You mentioned about the birthday celebration, virtual birthday celebration, which my team and I did also. And some people say it's no longer about meetings is no longer about work. Now it's no longer about work-life balance, but more about work blend. Because how do you now blend the work and the personal? You know? So prayer is the best help. Yeah. Okay.
Ganda. So our audience is really reacting to what we're saying, no? And there's so much that we can really learn and share from or to each other as well. So I'll talk about communicating with CTE. Kasi yung unang fear ko, yung nangyayari sa negosyo, but you're fighting the fire, you just have to face the fire. The next one is now, it's clear on how to decide. And sabi nga kanina, leader with a heart, pero iba pa rin pag nandun ka sa decision point and you know that you're the ultimate decision maker and factor, and how would you share it? So my biggest fear is, okay, I love my team, we've developed a relationship before, so how will it be? Will they react? Will they start to hate me and dislike me for this one? Will they understand? And here's where my next C would come in, challenging your fears. Yung ibang fear, nandyan talaga sa harapan mo, kailangan talagang harapin mo. Firefighting ka talaga nung first 2 weeks or 3 weeks ng March. Tapos nang nalaman natin na hindi lift down ng April 13, most of us have been in wait and see mode. Kaya talagang medyo while we're trying to set up work from home, we're also trying to wait and trying to say, pag nilift down ang April 18 lockdown, okay, we now have a plan. But it did not happen. So the plan continued to evolve. I have to challenge my fear, especially that fear regarding my relationship with my teammates. So some of us have fears. Maybe it's job security. Maybe it's something is making you anxious. Maybe it's the pressures at home. Maybe it's something that you don't like, getting stuck. No? For those who would love to travel or who had special plans scheduled on these days, especially to our younger members of the audience or of our working population. Some of the fear should never have been there in the first place. Yung bang definition of fear na, anong sabi doon? False evidence appearing real. Let me repeat that. Fear, F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real. Meaning, some of our fears are real, they're valid. Some of our fears are just made up here inside our heads. That's why you have to challenge, question, check the evidence, and verify if our fears have some concrete basis to begin with. Because that means unnecessary anxiety and unnecessary worry and uncertainty that leads to the depression and mental health concerns, which we know nowadays. May is the month of mental health as well. And nowadays, it's really a concern. I had a participant in a webinar send me a private message the weeks back asking about mental health. So yung ibang mga fears dito, especially my breaking that bad news. I know the approach, I know the formula, but it's really different. And it's good that I took the leap because I have to go through transparent communication. These are some of my actual slides in our town hall meeting that March 24th. It's good that I've been very transparent with the financials of my small business ever since. We report it on a monthly basis. And because all in-person engagements have been moved, I have to start with that zero sales. I removed some confidential information here. Being very transparent with questions about our company situation. It's facing my fear, talking about it to others. So take a look at that. People are asking until when is this crisis? How long before sales goes back to normal? How long can we last without sales? Because we do have cash. We've grown a lot in the past years. But we can't last forever if this crisis is going to last forever. Patagalan ang laban dito eh. Kaya, yeah, moving forward, one of my lessons here is cash is king and cash flow talaga. How could employees really contribute to better cash flow? So I'll fill this with all other information that I shared to my team. And that's how we answered it. Take a look at the answer to the second block there. We don't know. To be honest, it's okay to say we don't know. But it doesn't mean we will not do something. And covering those other confidential information with some emojis, as you can see here. So now they know the situation, and we said that this is the plan. Fortunately, you have to really be clear on your values and principles in your decision making. So sabi ko, babalansehin natin ang negosyo, babalansehin din natin ang tao. It should be sustaining the business because it will be good for everybody. I even called my cost reduction project lifeline. Sustaining the business. And business does not mean only profit. Business is the entire team, and people are definitely a critical part of the business. So sa decision making, kasi challenging yourself and confronting, my style is to always go for the risk, the best risk that we can take. I don't want any false assurance that is assuming all the positives. And this is where positivity needs to be checked during this time. A lot of people will just be positive. Huwag kang nega. Stay positive. No? Think of the brighter side. Okay, yun. But you have to confront the reality as well. Because we don't want to give false assurance to anyone. What's best is to hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. And I'd go to assume that we will not, there are a lot of ARs or collectives out there. I thought of getting a loan, which was difficult to get during this time, and really no sales. I was prepared starting day one. The fears at the back of my head. But when he talked about it, ito yung nakakatuwa po, nakakadaba ng puso kasi nung in-implement natin yung decision na yan, just minutes after that town hall meeting, I would get positive reactions from people. So, sabi nga ni Irene kanina, high-tech, high-touch, or was it John who mentioned that? So, use the high-tech to be more high-touch with your people. Right after that town hall, I would go straight to people and ask, these are Viber conversations. I ask for permission from my teammates if I can share this. I share this on our previous webinars. So, kumustahin mo? But you know, some people are okay. Some people can deal with it. People understand. You will get people who would message me first. Some people message me first, expressing their gratitude on the decision. Okay? And how you respond to that is also critical. And one of the more touching messages is that people would even pray for you, the team, and the families. Makakabangon po tayo. And they would really appreciate your decision-making process. So I challenged my fear of not sharing, of course, bravely sharing with people, and it turned out to be okay. That the greater clarity and transparency and empathy that you also give, the better you'll be supported by others. So,
Louie,
some of our fears, i-check nyo lang
think,
Baka naman hindi talaga siya fear.
Yeah,
Irene,
sorry Louie, oo. Parang swak lang sa challenge tong Q&A, one of the questions.
Go.
According to, I won't say the name, baka ayaw niya. I'm about to deliver the bad news to employees to be retrenched. How should I handle it? I think earlier you mentioned about what you did. So, yeah.
Okay. Okay. That really deserves a specific 40-minute talk, but the 3 points. Okay, I'll gather my thoughts here and offer you 3 points. No, um, well, that's change management na delivering bad news pa, tas communications, communicating in crisis pa. Make sure that you're really able to, yung CTE, babalik ko sa CTE ko. CTE is clarity. The communication should really be very clear. What are we doing? Why are we doing it? Dapat nandun na sa una yung what. Anong plano? Eh, kasi tayong mga Pilipino minsan palabok. What are we doing as a plan? Why are we doing it? And what is the support that we can give to our employees? No? One reference that we can check is the letter of the Airbnb CEO. They, I think, retrenched 2 weekends ago. Napakagandang example. It was praised as well in other articles on how it was communicated very well. And here's my additional tip here, Irene. Please talk to people first before issuing the documentation. Please talk to people first. And so unfortunately, we'll have to talk to them using digital tools now. And please show yourself on video. Don't hide on a slide, which is what I did. So I look at the camera, really connecting with people. Saka na yung documentation. Kasi personal touch lang. And expect that people may understand it, some may not. It's okay at that point. People need to grieve. That's why you have to do your one-on-ones after. You have, after the big announcement, the immediate superiors and the managers need to hold team huddles. I think that's my quick mention on that question.
Yeah, thank you, Louie. So we'll go back to the others later.
Isang scene lang tayo. Confront mo, yung iba kailangan i-challenge mo, yung kailangan harapin, i-confront, i-address mo, i-solve mo. Yung iba naman, baka naman, hindi naman pala siya fear. Baka the fear is just within you. The fear is actually not happening around. If you actually deliver the bad news, and to that person who wanted to deliver bad news, baka people will even thank you and appreciate. Because what's different about this time is that for me, it's easier to deliver bad news this time. Why? Because people can see it's happening in a lot of places. Hindi katulad nung ikaw lang ang kumpanya sa industriya mo na gagawa niyan or ilan lang kayo. Wherever we look right now, people can see, oh, it's a reality. So for me, it's even easier. It's really just city. Doon na tayo sa last one. Channel the fear. And what do I have here? Convert the fear. Yung isa, kinonfront mo, sinolve mo agad. Yung isa, chinek mo, hindi naman pala ako kailangan matakot dito. I just have to make the jump, as in bungee jump or leap of faith. Yung iba, hindi ka matatanggal, hindi kita maalis, ha? I will use the fear. Because fear could also be a great motivator. I'll repeat that. Fear is a great motivator. But as long as it motivates you to fight and not to flee. Fight and flight. Convert that fear. Leverage on that fear. Dahil natatakot ka, dapat may gawin ka. Harness that fear, and it's okay to have a fear here. Yung paranoid behavior of what if mangyari to, we don't know the future, it's uncertain. It's okay. Then make assumptions and then do something about it. We bared the LJMB story to you. Maybe I have some clients in the room. You've attended our previous webinars. We've done so well in the past 5 years. As you can see, we are on upward trajectory, 20 to 30% growth. We were so aggressive, no? Because I want more clients. I want to reach out to more people there. Naging global na nga. In 2018, even 397 training days in 2018. Look at that. Even more than your 365 days in a year. And in 2019, although bumaba yung training days namin, we were able to achieve more. So, we were riding on this success. And on a lot of you as well, we had very good 2019. Kaya lang, talagang hinambol tayo lahat ni COVID. And I thank COVID for really humbling us because, you know what, I look at all of this and say, okay, so ano ngayon yan? Wala siyang sinabi sa COVID. So, March, it was crazy. I have sleepless nights, promise. Ang hirap makatulog. Tapos yung alas 6, gising ka na, pero ayaw mong bumangon kasi pagod yung katawan mo, pero yung isip mo. 17 people, 17 families, I know they have kids. No? I know it's not compared to some of you who are in big companies, but everybody's on my shoulders here. And then I thought March 29, I just posted a Facebook harmless post. Who will attend webinars if I do webinars? I think a lot of people responded, 500. That gave me a boost. And in 3 days, we were up and running to offer the biggest experiment. Because I was looking at webinars out there. Nagbigay ako ng free 9 webinars. 1,000 people attended with just my Facebook. So I said, let's do it again. And oh my, it has built our confidence. While it was offered generally, initially for free, we have to really shift, make that quick shift. And I thank my team because again, people are looking at the leader. What are we going to do? Sabi ko, shift tayo sa digital. Wala tayong gagawin. Everybody in the team now has a different job description. Wala kaming social media marketing dati. Boom! And overnight, we were just crazy. People are willing to extend. We all of a sudden, overnight, we developed digital learning courses. So mukhang nagpo-promote ako dito. Ipo-promote ko talaga yung ginawa namin. Wala akong makitang benchmark. Tingin ako ng tingin, especially at the local. But I said, I can't take this crisis sitting down. Maybe that's the way I'm built. And wow, when we started to offer paid webinars in April, early April, alam mo, Irene, ang mahirap. Wala akong makitang paid webinar during that time. Sobrang
Parang
insecure
lahat
ko.
free.
Sabi ko, paano ako mag-paid? Lahat free. So, paano naman yung talents mo? Paano naman yung income generation namin? Sabi ko, bahala na. Bahala na. Second week of April, let's offer our first paid. Okay? And we earned ABC there. Wow! Meron, people will pay for value. And then times 4 of that, we earned the following week. And then on week 4, wow, it's growing. We now, that's B2C, by the way, B2C. We were really advertising to consumers. And now, yung mga natutulog na kumpanyang nagwe-wait and see, nag-iintay lang, they came back because they realized that training and development should not really be locked down. And now, we're really delivering through the only way we can reach clients and through this. So 61 webinars and counting. This will be my 65th if you count this one. I just can't stop. And I hope that you will also not stop. Remember, idleness is the root of all evil. And I'd say idleness is also where fears start to creep, no? And occupy your mind. Kaya be productive. It led to the birth of so many courses there. And ito may pa-promo kami ngayon, no? Just like PSTV. Kailangan merong gawin eh. Convert the fear. Hinahamon mo ako, fear, ha? Hinahamon mo ako, tinetest, dinedare mo ako, ha? Okay, go ahead. Let's go to the ring now. Let's play. I think it's the mindset that will carry you through the day. Okay. I can wrap up, Irene, or if you have some questions there, if you have some comments.
I'd like to go through the comments first kasi parang to ignore, no? So sabi ni John, I accept realities and plan to move forward with it with the people who I value the most. Prayer is the best help according to Angeline. Connection should not stop. It's important to continue learning and supporting according to Isel. According to Cyril, failure is not the opposite of success. It is fear. So to become successful, face your fear first. Have some courage and learn to take calculated risks. Sabi mo nga kanina, Louie, we need to be able to take risks. Work-life integration was mentioned. So parang hindi na talaga work-life balance. There's work blend. There's beautiful words, no? New terms in the dictionary. Work-life integration. According to, I'm embracing to it and do something in order to conquer it. And be futuristic. So, are you going to wrap up, or I'm going to ask? There are 2 questions now.
I have some a few slides. Would you like me to go through them first before we can entertain some more questions?
Please.
Ano man, natutuwa ako, naglalabasan lahat ng mga quotes eh, di ba? Kasi nakaka-relate talaga tayo sa lahat ng mga quotations ngayon, no? Alam mo, lahat nga ngayon pwede maging motivational speaker. Alam mo kung bakit? Kasi everybody is really affected and impacted one way or the other. And I just hope and pray you're okay, your families are okay. We're all struggling with different things eh. Diba? Yun.
Correct.
So, na-wrap up ko lang. 3 C's.
All right.
Confront the others. You need to challenge whether it really has to be there. And if it's not going away because it's a reality, channel leverage on your fear. Kaya meron pinto dyan eh, Irene. So taken 2 years ago, simply, what are
Paki-explain
you
ng
going to
door.
do? Di ba? Of course, umiimo ka ba dyan? Umo-OA ka? Di ba? Pumoporma ka, bubuksan mo o hindi, pakyut ka dyan, ano? This is not the time to do all of those. Even if you don't know what's there outside. Just like us, we experimented, we tested, we tried. Start small, experiment, trial and error, learn the lessons, fail fast. Ito ngayon yun. Fail small, fail fast. But don't just take this crisis sitting down. And when you start opening the door, you can see what's beyond it. And if you fail, sabi ko nga, fail fast and learn again. Okay? Follow us at these social platforms. And before I end, Irene, I'll just say 2 things about Nelson Mandela. Yung nagsasabi kaninang courage is not the absence of fear, sabi ni Nelson Mandela. Courage is not the absence of fear, but being able to thrive amidst the fears. And you know, I also felt like a Steve Jobs, you know, when he was booted out of Apple before. Layo, ano? Steve Jobs, saka Louie Banta, no? Pero nakarelate ako, sabi ko,
mas matangkad siya,
God,
Louie. Oh.
Ay, oo, mas matangkad saka a lot more
Pero mas
brilliant. But I
gwapo
can
ka.
relate. Ano ba yan? Medyo ano ako doon, natuwa ako doon, Irene. O may tumatawag sa akin, ano, but let me just turn this off. Last thing, Steve Jobs felt like he started all over again. And it's light. It's light to start all over again. That's how I felt when I had to ditch and dump that old business model. And I'm learning digital marketing. I'm learning. I now have somebody who's mentoring me on LinkedIn marketing. I'm learning. YouTube videos. I'm learning. And we are all here learning professionals, whether you're in corporate training or you're in teaching. Never stop learning. Don't waste a good crisis, sabi ni Winston Churchill. And this good crisis is also all about learning. Ay, back to you.
Thank you, Louie. So I think yung ano niya. But please, if you have questions, we still have like, John, 11 minutes pa, no? It's 2:14.
Yeah, definitely,
so,
11 minutes.
So I have 3. I'd like to read the first question from Daryl. As a business leader, how do you plan and engage with displaced employees eventually affected by no work, no pay policy? On what measures can you make them feel secured and empowered in times of crisis? Very challenging question, Louie.
Fully loaded dyan. Right? At very timely din yan. Kasi sabi ko, yung April 1, reduced work from home. But then again, if we look at our financials, sabi ko, there's another thing that I need to confront. And just last week, I announced that some members of my team, so thank you for raising that question. I'm bearing my team situation again. Some members of my team, I told them that if things don't change, just be ready that some of you might be on no work, no pay, or should I say on call. Because project basis ang trabaho natin, di ba? As compared to others. And people can see naman, importante nakikita nila, hindi ka tumitigil ng pag-exhaust ng resources.
Right.
What's important for me is to confront. So I told them, this will be a sad day again. I'm telling you that this is what's happening. The formula I shared earlier, no? Why we need to do it. And here are the action steps that we need to do. I just need you to expect the worst. But I'm still continuing to hope for the best. You are on call. In fact, we're building some pipeline of work for them to do in June. Assurance, alam mo, ay napaka-hirap ibigay ng assurance sa ngayon. Because people will hold on to that assurance. Di ba? Kaya ako, sasabihin ko, yes, please, go ahead.
I was about to say, and kasi lahat tayo, all of us have the same level of fear, I think. So regardless of ranks and positions.
And I'd always say, I can't assure you the long future, but I'm assuring you we're doing something right now. Kaya nga, agility, gas-gas na word na, agility is also able to navigate quickly, tweak. Okay? At sabi ko sa mga teammates ko, kapit lang tayo, ha? Kapit lang tayo. So what assurance can you give? The assurance that you as a leader will be there to explore options, not stop exploring options. And if it's so be needed, the assurance that you are keeping the relationship and the hand-holding even when you need to really let go of people. Sa tingin ko, ma-appreciate ng tao yun, no? Na masakit man, pero it's not you. Kasi alam naman nila, COVID situation.
The human connection. No? Okay, so I think questions are coming. So, ito comment lang from Aling. Yes, assurance is not guaranteed at this point of our employment life. From Mark, what if your fear is the thing you hated most? And then sabay ko na yung kay Idol, how can you engage staff who have limited access to internet?
Two things there, no? So yung una, how can you
what if your fear is the thing you hated most?
Curious lang ako, although hindi nabanggit, ano kaya yung fear that you hated most? I believe the answer could be more specific if you identify that, no? If it's a fear that you hated the most, well, you will really have to master, balik tayo dun, ano? Confront, challenge, and channel. Confront, challenge, and channel. What activities would you need to do so you can be able to confront it better? Simula ka, parang desensitization yan. A psychology terminology, you start exposing yourself to more and more of that fear because really facing it head on might work for you. So that can be one answer to that one. Another thing is to just challenge assumptions. Maybe you've never had the time to challenge this phobia or fear before because there's no need to do so. COVID na. Crisis na. Tama? Baka naman na ano lang yan, mental barrier lang. Yung isa ay, no? How do you address?
Yung sa internet, paano ba to? How can you engage staff of limited access to internet?
Sa mga webinars natin, leading remote teams or virtual teams, work from home employees, pag nagpapasurvey ako ng top challenges nila, numero 1 talagang lalabas yan, yung internet. At isa sa mga numero 1 ko ring tip is to set up the tech infra first. Well, sad reality, Philippines really lagging behind our counterparts in Asia.
Yes, I was about to say,
Kaya nga, outsourcing. Kung may mga kasama tayo sa outsourcing business ngayon, di ba? Sabi ng mga ibang bansa, okay, ang Pilipinas pala, pag tinamaan ng ganyan, lower productivity. So you can see, telco companies, dalawa lang naman yan. Of course, I have a bias on what I'm using here behind me. No? And of course, they're talking to government and LGUs. That's a separate scenario. What can you do? Well, number 1, mapoprovidean ba natin ng tech support ang team natin? May mga kumpanya, nagpadala ng desktop, nagpadala ng internet, nagpabili ako sa mga tao ko ng mga reliable subscription, of course, subsidized by the company because they're able to save on costs naman during this time. Ay, di ba? Kasave ka ng pamasahe, nakasave ka ng pang-lunch, di ba? Kakalimutan ko nga, no? Aside from the weekly pang-groceries, I really don't pay for gas and etc. So it can be a shared responsibility between the employee. Set up that tech or in cases when meron talagang team members na hindi talaga kaya, siguro scheduling of meetings na lang, flexibility na rin and compassion. Meron akong tao na nakatira meron akong kilala, nasa mountains of Montalban daw siya. Okay? At kahit na nasa QC ka, there's one person, Katipunan area lang daw siya, pero hirap na hirap siya. So resorting to other forms of communication, it's not just video call anyway. Nagbabaybera naman tayo dati. Tama? So just being very creative because, again, internet is a top challenge. It might be adding to other mental health or work-life blend issues that people are. Right. As a leader po, ang policy ko, wag ko nang dagdagan. Wag na lang nating dagdagan yung mga pressures ng mga tao natin. Scheduling, flexibility. Kahit nga yung iba, hindi internet ang problema. Disruption, interruption. Sabi nung isa, I'm a single mom I have kids, there's a crying baby, I have no yaya. So what do I do with work from home? Yung mga ganon, susunod na tanong kasi yan after internet, after mo masolve yung internet, ang susunod na tanong yung distractions and interruptions at work. So it's really
at work
just
ngayon,
managing
Louie, is already at home. Kaya, 'di ba, it's work-life blend. So, parang mas mahirap, I've been here, mas mahirap magtrabaho sa bahay, no? Tapos magtatakbo yung mga, your kids running in front of you also. So,
diba?
those are challenges.
I'll mention some of the more frequent based on the survey. Sabi, ano bang, barking dogs, crying babies, no? Inuutusan ng nanay habang nagko-call ka, inuutusan ng nanay or mag-grocery siya. I'm sure some of you can relate, di ba? Yung alas 4 call mo, tapos sasabihin nila, sir, pwede bang maghabulin ko yung grocery or convenience store? What will you do? Flexibility and compassion.
Okay, Louie,
establish ground rules, manage expectations.
Yeah. We have 3 more minutes left. I'd like to read the other questions, no? Then try your best to answer. Sabi dito, hi Mr. Louie, as an entrepreneur yourself, which is more logical in crisis situation like this, bring down a decision which you think is the best thing to do, or wait from your generals for some suggestions. And then there's another one. Is there a polite way of letting your superior you are already drunk? No, you are already drowning and feeling burnt out, knowing that there are a lot of people who are losing their jobs? Oh, good question, no? And then from Dido, how do we determine if it's fear or depression already?
Okay. Sige, doon tayo sa unang-una, no? Sorry, nalunod ako dun sa questions kasi I'm trying to prepare my answers. Yung una ay, sige nga, adjust na lang yan.
How, as an entrepreneur, which is more logical in crisis situation?
Okay. Sige. Ang sabi mo, waiting for generals. And I understand you're employed, you're in a hierarchy, and depending on how high or how low, kasi baka frontline manager ka or you might be senior management. Of course, the higher you go, the more clout you have to influence your peers and even the board or the ultimate decision maker. But it doesn't stop you even or whatever rank to do something that is impacting on your immediate team. So katulad nung akin, I can only control 17 people. Then what changes are you going to do with your department or section or division or business unit? Okay? So of course, kailangan aligned lang yun as much as possible. But in some cases, in certain cases, when the direction is not coming from the general, if there's lack of clarity from the top, then it is your moral obligation during this crisis to do something within your sphere of influence. And it may now be, ikaw ang titignan dun sa kumpanya nyo, uy, gayahin natin yung ginagawa ng business unit na yun or yung department na yun. For example, yung isang department, naka-downtime sila. Yung isang department, ang ginawa nila, inassignan nila ng special tasks, special projects, developmental projects, peer learning, documentation of procedures. So they're now becoming a shining example of what the other departments who are on standby or lockdown or stop down are to do. So kung si General walang clarity sa decision, titigan mo yung mga tao mo, anong pwede kong gawin? How can I make these times of crisis easier for my people? The second one ay, ito na yata yung mas critical question.
How do you let your superior know in a polite way that you're already drowning and you're feeling burned out?
Okay. Para sa akin, madali ito. Again, there's that fear. You may want to challenge that fear na hindi naman siya makikinig kasi masungit yan no? Okay. I tell leaders, ABA, I mentioned this in my previous webinars, ABA, be available, be visible, and be approachable. Available. Kailangan sa umaga, alas 9, alas 8, kikita ka ng available. Online ka. Di ba? Kikita na, si boss online. Reachable to. Visible, pag nagbi-video, show yourself. Ito ay nangyayari to. Yung iba ayaw magpakita sa video. Tama? If for all you know, the boss's face is the face that will just give them what? Light, hope, will also give them a smile. When they see the boss, wow, parang si boss parang pumapasok lang, no? Kasi okay ang upper mo, although naka-shorts ka, it gives some... So, babalik ako sa leaders doing that so your people can have the courage to tell you, boss. Okay? Now, boss pa rin ang kausap ko. Check on your people. How's your workload? Kamusta? Nalulunod ka na ba? If that is not happening, my dear friend, I believe, let me look at the camera and personalize the answer to you. I believe that your boss should be able to understand. Just say it. Set a meeting. Make it a form of a request. No? Boss, medyo nalulunod ako. Ano po bang uunahin ko sa priorities ko? Kasi for all you know, si boss din gulong-gulo din, overwhelmed din siya.
Right,
Communicate.
right.
Communicate. This is the best time to understand and support each other. For all you know, magugulat ka, maintindihan ni boss yan. Wag lang complaining ang dating ay, no? Kasi iba yon, di ba?
Iba yon.
Huwag mo chismis sa iba.
So we have to ensure, Louie, psychological safety, di ba? Na walang mawawala ng trabaho pag nagsalita. Ganun.
Oo. Kaya approach din ng empleyado. Kasi yung approach ng empleyado, complaining, hindi maganda. Pero kung approach ay, boss, can you help me reprioritize my work? Kasi di ko po alam kung ano unahin, boss. Willing naman po ako, ano lang pong uunahin ko this week. So, harmless questions like that could work.
So again, it's all about communication, right? So, communicate. Last na to, pakiulit daw. What's AVA again? So because
AVA, AVA. Oh,
yes.
Sige. Sa mga pharma, AVA, I picked it up in pharma. Yung produkto mo, 'di ba, pagpapasok ka ng drugstore, yung produkto mo dapat AVA. Dapat available. Hindi out of stock. Visible, eye level. Kaya paunahan yan, premium spot yan sa mga sa shelves. At pangalawa, yung A, accessible. Pero sa leadership, available, visible, approachable. So pag lumapit ka sa boss mo, boss, let me prioritize. Huwag kang, nega ka na naman, ano na naman yan, ikaw na naman. So choice of words, especially the voice, no? Saka leaders, promise, you don't know what your people are struggling with, promise. Right. Check in with your people from time to time.
Okay,
I've said so much.
So it's already 3:03, Louie. You know, there's a lot of almost 100 messages in the chat box, which I'd like to read, but it's already 3:03 from PSPD. Thank you so much on behalf of President John. I'd like to give the floor back to you. You might want to say something pa. Louie, thank you. Yeah,
Irene, thank you so much. So Louie, hello, narinig mo ba ako, Louie? Hello?
Yes, John.
Louie, like I just want really to thank you, and I think it was a great decision to invite you here because your story, your organization story, is such a beacon of hope for a lot of people. Your vulnerability, your honesty, and also your ability to accept these things immediately, so that sabi mo nga, let's power through kasi we don't have any other choice. I think your story has inspired a lot of people today, and thank you so much for being authentic and sharing all of those to us.